What if you could see the future of our economy? Imagine knowing what's coming and being able to prepare before anyone else. Let's take a moment and look into the future together. Before we begin, remember to like this video and subscribe for more economic updates. These days, when I speak to people, they tell me the same thing about 2025. Anything can happen. But one economist doesn't agree. He sees a very specific future, and gold is in the center of it. Peter Schiff isn't just any economist. In 2008, while most experts were blind to what was coming, Schiff stood firm and predicted the housing market collapse. He wasn't just right. He was one of the few who saw the warning signs and sounded the alarm. Fast forward to today, Schiff's looking into the future once again. This time, his focus is on gold. Why? Because the warning signs are everywhere. Rising debt, inflation that is far from under control, an economy that feels like a house of cards with unpredictable geopolitical tensions around the world. During a recent appearance at the New Orleans Investment Conference, Schiff explained, "War is generally good for gold, not just because of the uncertainty and people buying it as a safe haven, but wars are inflationary because they're ultimately financed by money printing. And so the more inflation central banks create to fund wars, the higher the price of gold." The world often feels like it's on fire, and maybe that's why geopolitical risks dominate the headlines. But for Schiff, it's the ever-growing fiscal uncertainty that fuels his confidence in gold. With bold spending promises and tax relief plans ahead, Schiff sees gold as critical. I think when it comes to the trajectory of debt, government spending, taxes, it's going to be more of the same. At the end of the day, spending is going to run out of control. The deficits that are already exploding are going to get higher. And I still expect the end result to be a US dollar and sovereign debt crisis. The numbers back up Schiff's concerns. The national debt has soared past $36 trillion and is climbing fast by an eye-watering $2 to $3 trillion each year. The Congressional Budget Office projects it will grow another 60% by 2034. And it doesn't stop there. The projections for the annual budget deficit are just as alarming. In just the first 2 months of fiscal year 2025, the deficit has already hit $624 billion, an alarming 64% higher than where the $1.8 trillion deficit stood at the same point last year. The CBO projects the deficit will average $2.2 trillion per year over the next decade, reaching nearly 7% of GDP by 2034, almost double the average deficit to GDP ratio of the last 50 years. As for why Schiff has little hope of these projections changing in any meaningful positive way, he put it like this: "It's easy to say, I want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Every politician is in favor of that. But the problem becomes when you have to identify the waste, fraud, and abuse. It has a constituency. Every dollar the government spends, somebody is benefiting from it. And if you threaten to take that away, that's a problem. So it's very difficult to actually get Congress to approve any substantial cuts in government." I don't know how I could be anything but positive on the price of gold, he said, adding, "I think the price of gold can double, even triple from here, and potentially go much higher than that." We've just glimpsed into the future through Peter Schiff's eyes. In 2008, Some listened and protected their wealth. Others ignored the warnings and lost everything. I can't see into your future. Here's the question: what does it look like for you? The answer is up to you. Until next time.